If you're a foreigner who gets involved in a relationship, a marriage, or any kind of family situation here, there is one massive reality check you need to wake up to, and it's going to save you a lifetime of confusion in Thailand. Parents have a level of influence over their adult children's lives that most Westerners simply cannot comprehend. One of the single biggest mistakes expats make is assuming they're just building a relationship with one person, but in reality, you're entering a partnership with an entire family ecosystem. Now, to be fair, family influence exists anywhere on Earth. The massive difference is that in the West, that influence has gradually eroded over generations. But in Thailand, it hasn't budged. It's as powerful as ever, and that changes the entire playbook. Now, Western culture beats you over the head with the idea of individual independence. You turn 18 or graduate, you move out, you make your own choices, you pick your career, you choose where you live, and you decide who you date. Sure, your parents might give you their 2 cents, but the ultimate expectation is that you are the captain of your own ship. Thailand just does not operate that way. Here, family remains the absolute centre of gravity, not just emotionally or culturally, but in a very gritty, practical, day-to-day sense. Parents stay deeply, intimately involved in their children's lives long after those kids have grown up. For a lot of Western guys, this is a massive culture shock. You might find yourself dating a highly educated 30-year-old corporate professional who still calls her mother multiple times a day to report on her life, or a grown man who won't pull the trigger on a major life decision without getting his parents' stamp of approval. To a foreigner, that looks like interference, but to a Thai person, it's just completely normal behaviour. You don't outgrow your family here. You remain an active, permanent organ inside it. And that distinction bleeds into absolutely everything, especially relationships. In the West, a relationship is a private agreement between 2 consenting adults. If you two love each other, that's usually the end of the story. But in Thailand, family approval can make or break you. Parents are going to want to know exactly who is tracking mud into their family dynamic. Who are you? What do you do? Are you stable? Are you responsible? Can you actually provide a secure future? Or are you just passing through? And again, it's natural for parents anywhere to worry. The difference is the shelf life of that worry. In Thailand, parental opinions carry massive weight for life. A relationship that you think is absolutely flawless can hit a brick wall if the family puts their foot down. Sometimes the pushback is financial, sometimes it's cultural, and sometimes it's just a gut feeling they have about you. But whatever you do, do not make the mistake of thinking you can just ignore it and it'll go away. The family isn't going anywhere, and neither is their leverage. Now this brings us onto the biggest minefield of all, money. This is where Westerners usually lose their minds. In the West, financial independence is the ultimate badge of honour. You earn your own cash, you pay your own bills, and you stand on your own 2 feet. While Thais obviously value hard work, their financial structure relies heavily on a collective safety net. Parents support kids, kids support parents, siblings bail out siblings. Money flows in all directions depending on who needs it. Now, Westerners look at this and immediately think exploitation or scam. But from a Thai perspective, this isn't a burden, it's duty, it's gratitude, it's bun kun. The psychological debt of a child repaying their parents for years of sacrifice. When a Thai partner sends money home, they don't feel used. They feel like a good son or daughter fulfilling their role on the team. and teams share resources. And if you try to view this through your Western mindset of strict individualism, you're just going to end up resentful and angry. Now, all of this completely flips the definition of success on its head. If you ask a Westerner what success looks like, they'll list off things like a great career, personal freedom, a mortgage, and a passport full of stamps. It's a very individual trophy room. In Thailand, personal achievement doesn't mean much if the people who raised you are left behind. True success is measured by what you bring to the table for the collective, how well you've looked after your parents and stabilized the family unit. Sometimes that means making life choices that actively limit personal freedom in exchange for family security, and that looks illogical to us, but it makes perfect sense to them. Now, this setup is a double-edged sword. On one hand, the safety net is incredibly powerful. If someone loses a job or falls ill, the family mobilizes. Relatives step in, grandparents take the kids, and nobody is left to drown. However, in a Western world where social alienation is at an all-time high, Thailand's family structure is actually a beautiful thing. But on the flip side of that pressure can be suffocating. The obligations can feel like a noose, and not every Thai person wants the future their parents mapped out for them. In fact, the younger generation is actively pushing back. Urbanization, education, technology, and global culture are shifting things rapidly in Bangkok and beyond. Young people have different ambitions and opportunities now, and the traditional structures are definitely evolving. But make no mistake, they haven't disappeared, not even close. And that's exactly where foreigners miscalculate modern Thailand. They see the mega malls, the iPhones, and the trendy TikTok trends, and they assume the old school family influence has faded away. It hasn't. Modern life and deep-rooted tradition live side by side here. That high-flying corporate executive in a Bangkok skyscraper is still going to defer to her parents' wishes at the end of the day. A university graduate or a successful business owner will still prioritize family expectations over their own individual desires. The modern world didn't erase these values, it just put a slicker coat of paint on them. Ultimately, if you want to survive and thrive in Thailand, you have to stop looking at people as isolated individuals and start viewing them as part of a larger family matrix, because family remains one of the most powerful, invisible forces shaping this country. It's quietly pulling the strings beneath the surface of careers, relationships, marriages, and finances. The foreigner who ignores that reality can spend years banging his head against a brick wall, feeling completely confused. But the foreigner who takes the time to understand it begins to see Thailand through a completely different mindset. You start recognizing that countless decisions aren't being made in a vacuum. They're being made with the context of shared responsibility, loyalty, and lifelong obligation. And once you accept that, the things that used to drive you crazy about this country will suddenly start making perfect sense. So maybe that's the real lesson here. Thailand isn't simply a collection of individuals pursuing their own selfish interests. For many people, family remains at the center of the universe. The people who raised you, supported you, and sacrificed for you don't just lose their influence the second you hit adulthood. And whether you think that's a healthy system or a frustrating one doesn't really matter. It's the reality on the ground. And if you want to truly understand Thailand, you have to understand the family, because behind every major life choice, that invisible force is still far stronger than most foreigners realize. Now, if you've experienced any of this in Thailand, in any relationship that you've been involved in, please let everyone know down in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care and ciao for now. Bye bye.